Formula E's second visit to the Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City provided the most remarkable victory in the championship's history. Let's have an in-depth look at how Lucas de Grassi went from dead last on lap 7 to the top step of the podium on lap 45. First, the Brazilian was starting 16th on the grid, thanks to a miserable qualifying session where the app driver bemoaned a lack of grip, having gone out in the first segment of qualifying with the track at its worst. It was this lowly grid position that left him susceptible to drama in the mid-pack. Despite a good start, Stefan Sarazan's Venturi squeezed de Grassi onto the grass at the first corner. It was then the turn of the other Venturi to add to the misery, as Mara Wengel came steaming through turn 3, smashing into the back of the apt car and destroying its rear wing. This was the lowest point of the race for de Grassi, but from here, things started to work in his favour. First, his own carbon fibre littering the track brought out the Qualcomm safety car, which was crucial.
Coming in.
It allowed de Grassi to pit, and thanks to some swift pit work from the app team to change the rear wing, as they had done with the front wing back in Hong Kong, he got back out onto the circuit. Had it been a full course yellow, de Grassi's race would have basically been over, but the safety car allowed him to emerge still on the same lap as the leaders. Things were still looking pretty bleak though, as when the safety car came in at the start of lap 5, de Grassi was 20th, dead last. On lap 8 he managed to overtake Stefan Sarazan and move into 19th. A few laps later he dispatched Esteban Gutierrez, but the turning point came on lap 12. Race leader Oliver Turvey was let down by his Neo Next EV car, and as the Englishman tried to get it going again, the race director called for a second safety car. De Grassi and the app team saw the opportunity. He dived into the pits from 17th place on lap 17, with nothing to lose, 8 laps before the usual pit window. So once again, the safety car came in and de Grassi was last. But he'd made his pit stop, as had Jerome D'Ambrosio's Faraday Future Dragon, who had picked up front wing damage, whereas the rest of the field hadn't. D'Ambrosio was actually in front of de Grassi, but on lap 23 de Grassi got past, which while for 18th position at the time, was actually for the race win. Once the pit stops were completed on lap 27, de Grassi had a 32.4 second lead over Jose Maria Lopez, meaning he could afford to be 1.7 seconds a lap slower than the DS Virgin driver, who had much more usable energy. Looking at the lap times, de Grassi was running in the low 1 minute 15s, while at a push, Lopez and Jean-Eric Verne were able to do low 1 minute 13s. It would be tough for de Grassi, but it was doable. Then the pendulum swung once more. Lap 28, and Loic Duval broke down on the circuit, deploying another Qualcomm safety car. While it looked as though de Grassi had a slim chance of winning the race with a 30-second buffer, that was now eradicated. At the restart of the race, with 13 laps to go, de Grassi had 55% usable energy remaining. Lopez in third place had 80% and was just 2 seconds behind. Step forward, Jerome D'Ambrosio. The Belgian had taken the same tactic as de Grassi and would go on to drive the widest Formula E car in history to try and hang on to second position. Lopez tried to pass a few times, but was coming under pressure from Verne behind. Eventually, the pressure got the better of the Argentinian, and on lap 35 he lost control trying to pass D'Ambrosio and went spinning off the circuit, rapidly joined by Sebastian Buemi in a separate incident. It was now Verne's turn to try and pass, but for lap after lap D'Ambrosio held firm under immense pressure. Finally though, he cracked. With just 3 laps to go, he locked up into turn 1, and that was the opportunity Verne had been waiting for, diving past into turn 3. But it was all too late. De Grassi's lead was almost 6 seconds. Verne had used most of his energy trying to pass D'Ambrosio, so de Grassi still held a 2-second cushion at the checkered flag to win the Julius Baer Mexico City ePrix and cut championship leaders Buemi's advantage to just 5 points. Despite losing his rear wing on lap 1, being dead last on 2 separate occasions and overtaking just 3 cars in the whole of the race, bold strategy calls from the Abt Schaeffler Audi Sport team and superb driving and energy management from Lucas de Grassi secured an unlikely and astonishing victory.